for me to make it through life and to be here today, I've already won in life. Not just me, many other people. I never thought I would be where I am today.
Welcome, Siya, to Mindset Win. This is exciting for us. And this is your first time in Salzburg, actually, right? How did you find your way around so far?
Yes, it is my first time. Thank you for having me. Thank you to everybody who signed up to come and listen to me. And yes, today is the first time I could go for a walk. I had Cyril as my tour guide. He's from Switzerland, so it was horrible. He didn't know what he was doing.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was. But it showed me some cool stuff. But
Some
I
mountains.
do recommend that you do not get a Swiss person to show you Austria.
Noted. All right, then. Yeah, but today we're not going to necessarily speak about geographics, but I'd actually like to start out with a quote of one of your teammates, Jesse Creel, something he said after the World Cup, which is a really, really good quote. He said, "As a Springbok, you always believe you're going to win. You don't have doubts. Winning is a mindset, something we train for. And that belief came through again." So I would like to know now, what is that winning mindset? Is it rather like a culture or like actions in trainings or matches?
Yeah, I think it's more in the preparation. You know, that's where we get our confidence from, is the work that we do before we even get to the battle. Like, we're never in doubt that we can win, no matter how tough the game is, no matter what the score is on the scoreboard. It's just that we know what process we have to follow, and we know our system can get us into the right places. It will create opportunities for us. It's all about taking them. And also our system creates opportunity for me or any other player to do what they're good at. So it's the hard work that we do. We spend more time in the computer room, watching clips and in meetings than actually on the field. And the field will spend an hour or two, but the rest of the time, I'm sitting in the computer watching our game plan, and then I'll watch the opposition. We have we'll have profiles on every single player of the opposition team, how they tackle, which shoulder they use, which leg they step on, which hand they carry on the ball, and when they do a certain movement, what do they do? You know, so that kind of preparation, it gives us that little bit of an edge amongst other teams. All the teams do it. It's all about how hard you do it. So the prep, all of those things before the time gives us that kind of confidence that no matter what situation we're in, we can definitely win.
It sounds incredibly technical, really. I was expecting probably something more mental or more psychological, really. What really struck me as I read this is we don't have any doubt. Myself and everyone, not everyone I know, but a lot of people doubt themselves. And, regarding that winning mindset, how or what would techniques be that you apply in order to, not let the doubt take you over?
No, but I'm a normal human being just like everybody else here. I also have doubts in myself, but I never have doubts in my team, So I sometimes have, am I ready? Am I going to make it through the game? All that. But for the team, I always strongly believe, because I know who I have next to me and around me, And also, like, for us as a team, we come from South Africa, and like, we face challenges each and every single day. And we've been through far worse than a rugby game. A rugby game is just another day, another walk in the park, It's difficult, but like some South Africans have watched Chasing the Sun, where there's a lot of different things. Like when you grow up, there's like so many things that I can tell you that we have to face each and every single day. And like our backgrounds, like for me to make it through life and to be here today, I've already won in life. Not just me, many other people. Like, to make it through the township, not saying like it's like life threatening or anything like that. I never thought I would be where I am today. So when the coach chose the team, and I remember it was in 2019 in Japan, he said, we sat in this room and he went around every player and he said, "I chose you not because you're the best. I chose you because of the struggles that you've been through in your life, of all the difficult situations that you face and go through. There are other players who might play better than you, but you will not give up when it gets dark. And we need players who can live in the dark places longer than the opposition, and that's why you're in the team. So when you're in the game, and the moments get tough, somehow you'll get through it because you've been through the toughest thing you've had to face in your life, which is, it's actually in anything. You don't have to be poor. You don't have to be hungry. It's sometimes the mental stuff that you go through as a normal person. It's things that you face, and it's a battle that only is up to you. It doesn't have to be big to someone else. People always think that, oh, if it's not important to that, if it's important to you and you're able to get through it and fight, and the moment you beat one, you'll be fine after that. Everything else become easier in your life.
That's really nicely said. And what really struck me is that you said that you draw strength and confidence even when you doubt yourself from
my teammates,
the guys around you. Yeah. Could you maybe give us a bit of an insight on what the leadership group in the South African rugby team looks like? And does that play out or show rather in meetings or pre-match situations? And what's your role in this group?
We all leaders. I have a role in the team. Everybody has a role. There's 15 players in the 23 that play in the day, and each person is in charge of something. And that started when I became captain, because the coach, he knew me, and I would probably struggle at the beginning because I was shy at the beginning. It's a big job to be Springbok captain. So he made a system where everybody's a leader, everybody's in charge of a different facet of the game. Some it's kicking, some it's the physical piece, some it's scoring points. So everybody has a say, whether you have 100 caps or whether you have 0 caps in your first day, you have to be in charge of something. So when you come we say we're playing a game, and then we come in a huddle, they score a try, and somebody will say, okay, in my department, this wasn't good enough. And they can point at you, you're not doing your job in this department, so that we have kind of shared leadership. I'm in charge of the ref. If the discipline is not good, then I can call whoever it is that's causing the problem, then I can speak to them directly. So, but when we come in the huddle, as the captain, I have to shut up if someone else is speaking. It doesn't matter who it is who's speaking. Everybody keeps quiet, and then we wait for the next person. So it also helps grow leaders in the group. So when someone is not there, there's not a big hole, because everybody's used to, to taking their own responsibilities.
So would you say that the winning mindset is something collective rather than something individual?
Yeah, definitely collective, by far. Our team, our goal is, when you walk in the team, when you walk in the Springbok environment, you leave your dream and goals and your own ambitions and goals, you leave them at the door. When you walk in that room, all that matters is what the team needs. You leave that at the door, so you push. If this is the team's goals, we want to win this, and this is the way we're going to go through it. If you had other ideas, you put that aside, and then you focus on what the team needs to do. And I'm telling you, by the time we achieve our dream and goals as a team, when you walk out the door again, you would have achieved everything that you wanted to achieve as an individual. It also takes away that things about people worrying about themselves too much, where they can just focus on what the team needs to do.
One thing that you said before, let me go one step back. You said you were shy in the beginning. It's really hard to believe that, actually.
I'm very shy.
If you say that, right.
I'm not in the leadership kind of. It takes time for me to warm up, and it's a big thing. I remember the first game as captain. We played England, and they scored 21 points in 15 minutes. And the third try they scored, we all came. It was at Ellis Park. It's huge. I couldn't have asked for a better stage to play the first game as captain. Sold out, planes flew over, when Mr. Mandela in '95. So everything was set out, and then they scored 3 quick tries, and it was 21-0. And then everybody looks at me, the whole team looked at me. I was like, I have no idea what to say. Do you know? And then I asked the other guy next to me, and then he gave some words of encouragement, and but then I played horrible those 3 games, because I was in every single newspaper, in every country. When you turn on the TV, the first black captain and all of this. So it was a lot for me to take in. I didn't understand why it was so big. And then I had to call some of my black friends. I'm like, why is this such a big thing? I'm just honored to be the Springbok captain. Why is my skin color or being a black captain? They're like, no, just think about it this way. For 128 years, there's nobody that looked like you.
Yes.
could ever dream of being in a position like this because there's never been one before you. And now you are the first one. Now every single South African can dream of being in that position. Then I was like, okay, cool. This is big, but I have to find a way to do it my way. I trained hard, and then I was fit. And then the next competition, I started playing really well. But I always walked knowing that, like, don't mess this up because I'm the first one. I don't want to be the last one, you know. So, yeah.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is it comes with a lot of pressure. And
Responsibility,
then
not
responsibility.
pressure. It's not pressure.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
with a lot of
responsibility.
responsibility and being a shy person or considering yourself a shy person and then being in a situation like you just described, everyone
I'm
looking
not
at
shy.
you.
I'm lying. I'm not shy. No, I'm not shy at all. I think it's just the responsibility was a lot. Yeah.
But yeah, let's stick with that then. Let's forget the word shy.
Yeah, I'm not shy.
Everyone looking at you, everyone expecting you to do something. Do you like get nervous? Do you like feel your I don't know, heart going? And if so, in, you know, crucial situations like that, how do you get yourself back together and like reset yourself in order to get the performance back on the pitch?
That's like, for me, all I care about is how I play. That's the number one job. If you're a leader or if you're whatever you are, if you have a place of responsibility, you just gotta do your job and do it 100%. And my first job is to play well.
And how do you do that
It's
when
preparation.
so much is going on?
Yeah, I only focus on that. Everything else that's happening around me is none of my business. My business is to make sure I'm prepared as a player, not as a captain, as a player. And then my responsibilities as captain come after that. And that's always been what the coaches have told me. Just play well, do your job properly, and then the rest will take care of itself. And me learning to speak to the ref and managing the expectation and the discipline around the team, that comes a little bit easier. And I'm generally, I'm a calm person. Like, I play a sport that I have to be angry at all times, but when I have to speak to the ref, like, I know how to calm myself down. I'm not easy person to make, like, very angry that I do something stupid. So I can compose myself in Ibrahim. I do bite my tongue a lot of the times, but yeah. I wish I could say what I want to say. Actually, let me just...
Today you can, just saying.
No.
Let's have a look at this incredible 2023 World Cup that obviously is the epitome really of a winning mindset, I would say. You guys had a really tough route to the final. You had Ireland in the group stage, France in quarterfinals, England in the semis, and then obviously the crazy and very successful final against New Zealand. And you have to be at 100% every single time. You guys have this mindset that there's nothing in it than to win it, really. If you're thinking back now, is there like a particular moment or a situation that sticks out for you where you guys really brought it on and really, you know, had it together in the sense of the winning mindset that counted in that very moment?
I would say against England, probably. When the bomb squad, we call the guys the bomb squad, the guys that come off the bench, they take that role. They name themselves. They take it very seriously. Like, it's an honor to be on the bench for the guys. And sometimes a guy that's in the bomb squad would make the starting team, and the bomb squad would say, unlucky, hopefully next time you'll come back into the bench again. But like, when they came on against England, England played, everybody expected us. I think most people expect us to blow England off the park. But they played such a great game plan. Like, they moved the ball around. We couldn't get a hold of them.
Yeah, it was like 15-6.
Yeah. And then the bomb squad came on. Archie scored a try, and then that important scrum, you know. That's when you talk about team, you know, when I got subbed quite early in the second half, and me and Eben, it's big, like a captain and another senior player, the most kept guy in the team, get taken off early. But at that moment, I knew, I was like, there's nothing more I can do for the team. You know, we don't sulk, we don't get upset. You just know that the next guy is going to do a better job than you, and that's exactly what they did. When they came on and won that game for us, I think that was a semi-final. That was a big moment. And in the game before against France, which was like a tough game, playing against the host, is a huge thing to do. And yeah, for us to win in that manner, it was huge for us as a group.
Are they taking you along vocally, or would you say that it's just their energy that's I don't know, getting you guys going then as well?
Oh, it's everything. It's the energy. Is when they come on. Like they win some games for us where the games are so close. But you can't tell who's better. The guys that are starting that on. That's the nice thing about our group. Like if I don't start him on the bench, the other guy is as good as me, if not better. So that's a great thing. But when they come on, it's crazy. And sometimes we have to do the hard yards, and they come on and they just change the game.
Yeah, and as you just mentioned, the semifinal against England was a really tough one for you guys. They kind of wiped you guys away 15-6, but you did find the strength to turn it around, win 15-16, which is incredible. So this is a lot about resilience as well, mental resilience, which is going to be our next pillar now. And we all hopefully learn from defeat, from setbacks, injury, or whatever the nature is. But these can be really pivotal moments in lives and career of athletes and of everyone in the audience and back home listening as well. Would you say that there's a special moment in your life where you really felt defeated?
Oh, I think it's probably the injuries, and when I've lost important people in my life. I think the first one was probably my grandmother when I was 9 years old. She raised me and she looked after me, and she did everything. She was my whole world when I was young. It's the only person that kind of got me and accepted me and loved me, and we didn't have anything then. And to think that that's a person that meant everything to me right now, where I have quite a bit, and it's one of the biggest things I wish I could give everything back to her. It was a tough day for me. I was 9 years old, and then I lost my mother, and then I lost my aunt. So those were tough moments for me. Then the injuries in between as well, but yeah, and I think that just my upbringing, a lot of the stuff that I saw as a kid was definitely not good at all. And I faced a lot of disappointment when I was young. But without all of that, I don't think, I think I would be a different person if I didn't face a lot of those challenges. And if I didn't get up from them, if I didn't move forward, if the fact that I got up with all those stuff and I was still able to go to school after my grand passed and still go to training and do all these kind of things, the rest just became easier. So work, it's nothing like playing rugby. It's just another day, because when then you face disappointment, you lose a game. Yes, it's tough, but I can get up again, and so that's helped me a lot through my injuries as well. And a lot of the stuff, it's always mindset. I always know I'm gonna get up. It doesn't matter how tough or how hard. I'd say before the time I am gonna get up. So you just get up. I had my operation, and it was supposed to be 9 months, and I had 5. It was 5 months before the World Cup,
which is insane.
Yeah,
Mission Impossible, really.
100%. And then I went to a doctor that told me I can make you play. I'm going to fix you. The rest is up to you. I said, what are the chances? He said, I'll give you 70% chance. I said, perfect. And then I walked out of the hospital after my thing, no brace, no crutches, because I said, this is how I'm going to do it. He said, I'm fine. And mentally, and spiritually too, I was in a good place, and I believed, and I kept on pushing. And I did everything that everybody said can't be done. And also that's part of that. I've faced so much worse than this. So it's easy to say it doesn't always work like that for everybody else. But throughout the whole process, I knew what I was fighting for as well, to put on a Springbok jersey in the World Cup. I mean, it's a big thing, and I was like, I'm going to give it everything I can. But there was still a chance that I wouldn't make it. But I didn't think about that. All I knew is that it's possible for me to make it.
So would you say this resilience that you just described is rather a thing that comes naturally to you? And on the other hand, you kind of said it's all mindset, but something that you actually work actively for?
It's not, it doesn't come naturally. I have to tell myself. Like there's also times where
What
I
are
don't
the
wanna get
words that you're saying to yourself?
up. Hey, get up.
You're not shy. Get up.
No, sometimes it's people around me who remind me what I've been through. You know, they will tell me, listen, you've been far worse than this. You know, you can get through it. And sometimes it's just myself saying, I believe for every bad thing, something always good will come out. It doesn't matter how tough the situation is. Somewhere along the line, something good will come out of it. So I always push through the tough times, knowing that something will come out. And it always happens like that. It's not just me. It's for any person.
It is for every person like that, but like hands down, you get the news that you tore your ACL in this point of the season, this close to the World Cup. In that moment that you're receiving the news, are you like, there's something good gonna come out of this?
No, I gave up. I won't lie. I gave up. Then I got home. I did the scan, and then they told me what happened. I was like, okay, it's done. Then I got home, and my wife was upstairs in Durban doing a puzzle. And drinking. She was waiting for me to come back. And then I told her, I remember looking up and I said, listen, it's 9 months. It's done. Like, I won't make it to the World Cup. She burst into tears, and I'm a Christian. And then she started crying, and then she's like, I'm like, yeah, it's done. She's like, no, it's impossible with men, but with God, it's possible. Just those words. I went to bed. I was laying in bed. I was supposed to have the operation the next day. And I was restless in bed because the doctor that I went to didn't give me, I didn't feel like the good energy with him, you know. And I had to stop eating at 10 o'clock so I can do my operation in the morning. And I was restless in bed. She's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, something doesn't feel right with this doctor. She said, cancel the appointment, go meet the other doctor in Cape Town. I called the doctor. I said, listen, I'm not going to make it through. I'm going to go hear another advice from another doctor here. And then I went to Cape Town and I got there. And as soon as I walked in, that I just felt a different energy. And that doctor is like, I'm going to fix you. I'll give you your everything. Everyone is right about your thing. It's broken. It's gone. It's a reconstruction. But I'll fix you. And then, I took it from there.
Did you randomly pick this doctor or?
No, I've heard about it. He's done my other teammates before. And he was more confident. A little bit arrogant, but more confident. Yeah.
Well, you know.
Yeah. But this is the thing. I'm a rugby player. I am good. Like I'm good at playing rugby and I trust myself in playing rugby. But what you do is, if you do a podcast and this is what you're good at and you give me advice, I'm going to trust you with everything I have. If you tell me this is what you must do.
Even if I'm a bit arrogant.
Yeah, I will trust you because I know, you know. So when he told me, I'm going to fix you and you are fine. And he told me, I'll fix you, you're fine. You can walk, you don't need crutches. If you fall, it's okay. You can try and run. He just operated me now. He tells me that night I fell on my way to the bathrooms. I tried to walk without and I tried to bend my leg. On the first day, I could bend my legs where you're supposed to be on 3 weeks. So I bent it 95%. Because he told me there's no limits. Just do whatever you want. So I trusted him with my full heart. So I think that, it could have been good. It could have been bad, but it worked out well for me.
It did. Would this be a process that you would recommend to anyone else?
No.
No. I was like, hold on.
No. But it's different.
It was a high risk that you took. And you were aware of that.
But it's different. I'm a full-time athlete. If you go to an office every day, you don't have the kind of time. When I finished my operation, the physio was at my house a day and a half later. I had to do rehab every single day for 3 months. So it's people that works in office. You can't do that. This is all I did for 3 months. And on the exactly 3 months, I was losing it. I told everyone, I was like, I use a lot of F-bombs. I'm over this and all F this, I don't want to do it anymore. And I was lucky because the next day I started running. Then I was like, hey, I'm happy again. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this journey. So, and then I played a month later, which was great.
So you're really feeling all the feelings, which is a good thing, I
Yeah.
guess. And I personally think that they have to be like respected. Your feelings have to be there.
Yeah.
Did you, during this time, maybe speak to other athletes as well who had been
Yeah.
through something similar?
It was amazing, yes. A lot of my teammates, Arche, he was injured for 2 years. So when he saw me, and sometimes I would complain, he would swear at me. Because for 2 years, he'd been doing rehab for his knee. He said he saw guys come in and leave, come in, and he became the motivator. So every time I felt something, he's like, oh, you're fine, you don't worry. I still have this right now. Andre Pollard and Peter Steph, they all, it was good to have them with me. And then I called a guy, his name is Axel, he's from Belgium. He plays soccer for Athletic Madrid. I spoke to him a little bit. He did his Achilles, and they told him he won't come back. He came back and played in the Euros. So speaking to guys like that, it gave me a little bit of confidence. But my teammates were the biggest inspiration, because they had been through it, and I saw them every day. And the nice thing about me, I was still with the team. I could encourage them when they don't make the team. My energy, I'm always positive, trying to encourage the guys. So I really enjoyed being there. It helped me being there also to see that what I'm working towards, see them training. It broke me when I was upstairs through the glass window. I was watching them training while I'm cycling. And it's crazy, both World Cup, it was exactly the same situation. I was injured watching them. So yeah, that also gave me confidence that I did it before, that I could do it again.
The story you shared about your friend who had been trying to get back for 2 years just made me wonder if you ever, you went to the doctor, he was like, I'm going to do this for you. Did you ever have in the back of your mind that this could actually not work out, and that this is like an all or nothing decision you're making?
No, I didn't. I didn't think about that, but I did know it might not happen. I might not make it. I might not make it to... Yeah, but I made peace with that. I was at peace. I knew with all the efforts I was putting in that there's a chance that I'm not going to make it. When I made peace with that, it was a bit easier for me to go, so I could give everything I can, So not expecting that the worst might happen, and you make peace with that, the rest of it you will be fine. Because what's the worst that could happen after that?
Yeah, I wish I could make my decisions like that. Just being like, I'm making peace with this. So is mindset a thing that, like a muscle you can work on, would you say? Can I get myself to working on this inner peace, really?
The inner peace is the most important one. The inner peace is by far the most important. In your mind, that is because everything starts from there. And if you're positive through there, if you tell yourself positive thing, and you think, and you can't lie to yourself. That's the thing. I can fake here and smile and be all happy, but deep inside, you know what it is. So mine was driven from the core of me, of the person that I am. I was confident from there, and I read, I read Bible verses every day, and I would listen to stuff that would encourage me. But sometimes I didn't have it in me. I didn't want to get up. I'm like, stuff this. There's no... Then I'll read something that will get me going, and then I'll go and work. And I knew what I was working towards, but it came from deep inside me. And mentally, I was in a good place as well. But if I wasn't, I wouldn't have been able to achieve that. And if it was fake, you can't fake to yourself. Like when you wake up in the mirror in the morning and you see yourself in the mirror, the truth there comes out. You can't lie to yourself, but you can fool everybody else. Yeah.
And I feel like it takes a lot of character, really, to not fool everyone around you. And that brings me to a question that I'm very interested in. You, in your book, which I read prior to today, you said that you started seeing a therapist.
Yeah.
And maybe if you feel comfortable sharing your experience with that, because especially in male sports, I feel like there's still a stigma around this. While I truly believe that working with a coach, or you can say therapist, whatever, it doesn't really matter, can really help you through situations like this, not fooling people around you, coming closer to yourself, building a strong character and a strong mindset? What has your experience been like?
It's been hard. It's been good. I learned more, like, because I grew up in I'm a Xhosa. It's always a Xhosa culture. In the black community, if you see a therapist, like, you're a laughing stock. Like, how can you're sick, but where are you sick? They can't see it. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, people see it as treatment. Well, it's rather like coaching.
Yeah. It's not. But also we're not really exposed to those things. I mean, where I come from, we're thinking about food and electricity. We don't have money. We can't afford to pay for a therapist. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not a normal thing in my community. So when I could afford, and then I went, because there's a lot of things, like, where I grew up. I had my first conversation with my father when I was 30 years old, when I was doing my documentary, like a proper conversation, a father to son talk. I wanted to have some answers.
Wow.
I was 30 years old, and there's a lot of fatherlessness in the world, because men don't like to talk. Men don't like to share their feelings. They don't like to express how they feel. Because at the end of the day, like, where I come from, men are seen as the providers, because all we think of doing is making money, providing food and electricity and education for the kids, and that's it. We didn't have to give any more than that. So when I went to therapy, like, I couldn't speak to my wife. I couldn't talk to her. Like, I didn't have proper conversations. I couldn't share how I felt, because a lot of things I was, like, immune. The stuff that I saw as a child was, like, it's not good for a child to see, and it was a lot. It's things that I would never want my kids to see or grow up around. But I saw it so many times, like gender-based violence, seeing a man beating up a woman, seeing all sorts of things that I shouldn't be able to see, that it becomes so normal. When I used to walk to school, when I see a man beat up a woman, we all just walk past, because, you see it all the time. And I didn't know that I had to deal with those things. So I saw a therapist and I started speaking, and then I started learning how to speak, expressing myself, sharing my feelings, and it helped me be able to speak. Like, now I can talk to a friend that I trust, and I can explain on how I feel. And honestly, I can feel just the weight coming off my shoulders. The more I speak to someone, the more I express myself. And that's why I started talking about it publicly, because I'm like, how many people have lost their lives because they just don't know how to speak? They don't have a place to let out, And that's why I like to encourage people to, if they can afford it, to be able to go and do it and not be ashamed. And they can keep it privately if they want to. But it helped me a lot, and it's helped me get through so many things. It's helped me make peace and forgive myself for so many things, and forgive others in the same process. And when you forgive, it actually does more good for you than the other person, because sometimes you're carrying a lot of baggage and a lot of hate over someone that's forgotten about that, And when you forgive, it makes your heart a little bit less heavy, should I say. And I think in work environments, I think it's a big thing that should be there at all times. That it should be available to people, and people should be able to talk to each other and say, you know what, I'm actually tired. And also, that's another thing. I'm tired. I can't go anymore. I need help, and we should be able to help each other.
100%. Would you say that this experience and this process really made you a better leader as well? Because as you were just describing how men are usually the provider and, money and food for the family, I feel like true leadership really is so closely tied to open and good and transparent communication.
Yeah, because you also allow yourself to be open and be exposed to so many things, and you get to analyze. I've just learned so much, and I'm open to hear what other people are going through, and also in leadership, I'm able to sit, and that's what I'm good at as a leader, to be quite honest, and anything else is the people skills, and sitting with someone, knowing, are you okay if a guy doesn't make the team, and also bringing people together. I like when I walk in a room, I don't mind being the joke of the room. I don't mind everybody making fun of me. You know, when people are feeling down, you know, I don't mind being the laughing stock of the group. I just want people to be happy, and I want people to be smiling. And if they're going through stuff, they should feel free to speak to me. And that's why I'm not scared to speak about my flaws. I'm not scared to speak about what I'm going through, because every single person in this room is going through some kind of battle. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter how big or small. And, you know, and I'm not shy to speak to someone, because somebody in this room can help me. Maybe they've doubted what I'm going through right now. Maybe they can help me with that, you know. But some people are private, and that's okay too. And you find someone specific to deal with. But it's good to speak. It's good to speak, because you never know what you might find in that process.
What would you say did you learn about yourself as a leader throughout your career?
I think I learned that there's so much more, there's so much more I can do, and there's so much more room for growth in the leader that I want to become. And that I've learned that you can learn any lessons from anywhere, from anyone. People don't need to be in a certain room. So that's why I'm always keen to speak to people. I'm always keen to take advice. Not all advice is good, but I'm always keen to listen to people. And I never, because I know I have my position, the stage, it's just a position. I'm only here for a period of time, and I want to do the best I can, but I don't want to let that position become me. I don't want to become that. I must still be Siya, you know, through everything, because this position is going to be gone, and some of the stuff will be gone with it. But I still want to be the same person as always was, and that's the most important thing. I don't want to lose that young boy that grew up with his grandmother, you know, and that's why I love having my best friend with me, who grew up with me in the township. He keeps me in check. Whenever my head gets big, he lets me know, like, hey, you're not the same guy as you were, you know, when we're young. You need to come back down to earth. And I think that's very important, to have people like that, because in any business, when you start reaching your goals, your chest starts getting bigger and your head starts getting bigger. And when people, like, when I became captain, I got home, I was so excited, told my wife, like, I woke up, chest out. She's like, oh, amazing. Please don't forget to do the dishes.
Yeah, nice.
Like, did you hear what I just said? Oh, yeah, I heard you, but I saw it in the news, by the way, but go do the dishes. I swore throughout every dish, I was swearing that she know who I am.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
You just said that you feel that there's still more potential for you to grow into as a leader. And in your book, you had 3 areas or pillars that define leadership for you, and that's body, mind, and spirit. Where do you feel you have the most room to grow still?
All of them, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. My body can grow anymore. I think this is it. But my mind and my spirit, definitely. Especially in the spirit, I think it's, for me, the most important. If I'm connected there, I'm good. I'm always in a good place. It leads me to everything else. So, yeah.
So, do you have certain role models in terms of leadership?
Yeah, I do. A few, not a lot. Like a lot of the leadership things I've learned through some of the guys that I've watched, but I try and just lead how I know how to lead, and it's just, I think it's the best. It's the best way I know how to, is just to be myself. But yeah, there's just other role models I look up to, and like people who play in individual sports. I think I said it to you when we spoke earlier. You know, I like to look at people more on what they do outside, how they are as people outside. Those are the kind of things that are, because yeah, there's millions of amazing athletes, business people, sportsmen. I always look at how are you outside the field? What do you do? What do you stand for? You know, and those are the kind of areas that I always go towards and lean towards in those kind of people.
I just saw that I think you posted recently a picture of yourself, of Jürgen Klopp and Patrick Mahomes, which is for me, the trio I didn't know I needed to see together. Really, that was so interesting. You're a huge Liverpool fan as well. Would you say that these two have, I mean, very different personalities, obviously, but do you see traits in their leadership style that impress you somehow?
Yeah, they're both different. Patrick, you can see, like, he has to be, he's outspoken. He's more chilled in person. He's outspoken. Like on the field, he has to hype the guys up, which is different to me. I'm more calm. I'm not going to psych you up and stuff. Let's go. I'm not like that. I'm more relaxed, you know. And Klopp is different. He's he's also chilled. And speaking to him, I had a long conversation with him at his house when we did a shoot for Adidas before. Like he speaks to the players, like he says what he says to the players is the most, because that's the last thing they hear before they get on the field. And he doesn't think or plan what he's about to say. He watches the clock and the clock is ticking. Like let's say he has to pick at 12, and he just waits and he's just starts speaking. But I think it's more of who he is to the players. Like he's a kind of a guardian, you know, to the players more than anything else. He cares a whole lot more. That hug, I felt that hug. I didn't want to let go. It was so nice. It was warm. Oh, Klopp, you dead? I said, Dad, is that you? Yeah, it was awkward. But he's I can't explain it. Like when I sit with him, he made me love the team even more because I met him randomly. I met him in Cape Town after the World Cup in 2019.
Oh, nice.
I was at a restaurant, and he was there, but I didn't see him. I saw him walk past the table. I freaked out. I'm bad, eh? I get starstruck. I'm like, oh my God, did you see?
So you didn't know each other at that point?
No. The guys in my team.
Fanboy?
They don't know. I'm like, you don't know who Jurgen Klopp is? Like, okay. Then, okay, how do I ask him? So I'm sitting, everybody's trying to talk to me. I've forgotten about the dinner that I'm at. I'm just saying, I'm going to ask him. So
because you're shy, you didn't know what to do, right?
Yeah. I was shy there. I was freaking out. So I went and waited outside the bathroom door. Doesn't that dodgy? It is dodgy. I waited outside the bathroom door, and then I knew someone that knew him. So
Makes
I was
it better.
waiting.
Makes it less judgy.
As he opens the door, I call the guy. And like, hey Mike, I'm with the coaches here. No. Can you speak to him?
Okay, that is still
dodgy. As he walks out the bathroom, I gave him, yes sir, can you speak to him? And then he spoke.
Bro.
And then he started laughing. And then he's like, hey, I know who you are. We watched you play. And we started talking. And then he came to my table. He sat with us for 40 minutes. And then he invited me to Liverpool. And then I went to Liverpool 2 weeks later. And then we just became good friends from then on. And then now I don't know, it was difficult to hear him leaving. Not just for me, for all the Liverpool fans. It's very painful.
And I mean, it's basically, you put it so wonderfully into words. He's warm. He made you love the team and the club even more without needing any more need to love the team even more. Every Liverpool fan would be like, we're happy not to win the Champions League if he would only stay another year. So the legacy that he's leaving over there is huge. And let's, I don't know, fast forward a little bit, maybe into 10 years of time, 2034. What would you like to be remembered for? Or, I mean, maybe you're still playing in 10 years.
No,
we never know how many more ACLs you survive. No, I'm kidding. But you know what I mean. Speaking of legacy, that's a huge term, obviously. But do you have a vision or a wish or a hope, to be remembered for by teammates and people of the rugby community?
I don't want to be. I honestly don't want to be. I don't care if I'm not remembered for the things I do on the field, but the things I do on the field help me do the things I like to achieve off the field. So what I want to be remembered for is the work I do with my foundation. I think that's a much bigger impact, because the trophies and all the achievements that we do achieve on the field and the records that we make, they will always be broken. Somebody else will come and break them. But I think the lives that you touch off the field, like the work that we do with my foundation, and it's some of the work that I needed as a child that I wish somebody had done it for me. Now we are able to do that. When I spoke about the gender-based violence, my foundation looks after gender-based violence. We're trying to end it. So we give women. South Africa is the worst gender-based violence country in the whole world. And we're trying to end that because my mom was a victim and a survivor of gender-based violence. My aunt was a victim and a survivor. So the stuff that I look out for in the foundation is everything I experience personally because it's real to me, it's authentic to me. Because when I was 9 years old, 3 years old, there's nothing I could have done for my mother. Waking up in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, hearing your mother scream or your grandmother or your aunt scream, there's nothing I could have done. So the older I got, and when I got the platform, I said, there's no ways I can keep quiet because I don't want any other woman or child to go through what my parents went through. So if I can use my platform to help end gender-based violence, that's been the drive of the foundation. And then we have sports and education. The school was the safe place for me. It's where I could go play, find a meal, get a meal at school. So my foundation, we look after 3,400 kids in my township where I come from. That's just from our foundation, but we fund other foundations who look after thousands of other. We fund, I forgot the number that Rachel told me how many other foundations we fund. So there are so many children that we look after. And then we want to end poverty as well. We're trying to find more sustainable ways for people to look after themselves and feed themselves by building small gardens around the communities. And we're trying to help communities make their own wealth because there's like I said earlier, where I come from is 89% unemployment in my community. So that's what I want to be remembered for is, can I change a community? Can I touch people's lives? And I know for a fact, if I change one person's lives, they will change another. And it will be like a domino effect, and that's exactly what I want to be remembered for. But it will be nice for the trophies and stuff until someone breaks the records as well.
Oh man, that was such a great way to put it, really. And bless you for valuing the things that are actually important. And I was going to ask you, we're already at the end of our conversation here now, what you would like to say to the next generation of rugby players, but maybe as this is not even your full focus or wouldn't, be respectable to everything else that you're doing, maybe what would you say to the next generation of young people trying to succeed in, let it be rugby or whatever other dream that they're chasing?
I would say, I think, you gotta find what I said. You gotta find purpose, like as soon as you can. Like that should be your driving force as a human being. We have too many world issues, too many social issues, that it's not enough for you to just want to make it in life just for yourself, buy yourself a nice home, look after your family. There are too many people hungry. There are too many people struggling. You have to find something bigger or something more to keep you going each and every single day. Because if you're just worried about yourself, you're going to achieve all your dreams. You want to make a certain amount of money, buy a certain car, you achieve it, then what? Then you're dead after that. You're gone. What else can you dream to? But if you think of not just your own goals, but you put other people into play, it gives you more pressure and more responsibility. So, like for us, when we play to make South Africa proud. We play to inspire people in our country. I always tell people, and it's small. It's doing small things. If you're working and you've got somebody, like we have people that look after our children, that help in the home. And I always tell some people in South Africa, that's where you start, with that person, because mostly those people are working so hard in so many jobs, and they never look after their children. They look after your children, and their children's future is exactly the same as their mother, because they go to a normal school. I said, how about you pay for that lady's children, for their kids to go to the same school as your child so that their future looks far different than their parents, so that their parents don't sacrifice their lives for nothing, basically. So I always say, find a purpose far bigger than just getting a nice home, a nice money. What can you do for someone that doesn't know you, that you've never met before? Because it's always like that, you can donate. You say, I'm going to work, but I'm going to pay for a couple of kids to go to a school. And that's how I made it. Somebody paid for me. And now I'm able to touch so many other kids. And that's what drives me more than providing for myself, is the other people that I don't even know.
Siya, thank you so much for all these insights, for being so open and sharing all these personal moments of your life with us and with everyone in the audience and listening. So much more than a rugby player. Thank you, truly.
Thank you. Thank you.
This was so much fun. Siya definitely is one of the most inspirational guests that we have on the show. I mean, just the way he, balances cracking a joke and opening up about deep topics like going to therapy is just very inspirational, as well as his clarity about his purpose and how his actions are aligned with it. I really feel like I have to do some purpose searching, which is fine because I get to sit down on Thursday again with York to do just that, to chat about my conversation with Siya and see what we can take away from it and how we can apply Siya's winning mindset to our own lives. As always, we would love to hear from you and your experiences, so please get in touch, and the best ways to do so are either leave a review or comment wherever you're listening, or in case that you're watching our YouTube channel, please do it there. You can also write us an email on mindsetwin@redbull.com. Also, following or subscribing would be really cool, and that's a wrap for today. See you back on Thursday with York.